Hello, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live. I'm here with a special edition today to tell you about these three very fine live stream orchestra symphonic works that are going on today, May 15th, Thursday, early in the evening here, European time, because I want to make sure you don't miss them, but you have to figure out which one to do. So I'm going to try to give you some advice or some background to help you make the decision. You have a choice to make between Juha-Pekka Saraste leading the Helsinki Phil at 6 in the evening European time, or Hannu Lintu leading the Tapiola Sinfonietta, which is also in Finland, at the same time, or the Berlin Phil's very well known, practically an institution, Kirill Petrenko conducting Mahler's Ninth. I mean, I'm not sure how you make a decision between these choices. That's Juha-Pekka Saraste right there in the left-hand side there, that first picture you see, and below him is Leonidas Kavakas, who is this Greek violinist and conductor as well. So now they'll be doing what the Helsinki Phil. That's at 6 o'clock European time, which will be I think that means that's at noon on the East Coast. Let me double check that. Yeah, and 9 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. And 2 o'clock in the morning, later on today, Australian Eastern Standard Time, but that's not too late to tune into a really good concert if you're a late night person like I am. So let's go over what Juha-Pekka Saraste is going to be doing. They'll be doing Shostakovich's Violin Concerto No. 1 in A minor. And so that'll be Leonidas Kavakos who will be playing that, and then they'll do Brahms's Third Symphony. That's a great time, especially if you like either Shostakovich or Brahms, and I know there are a lot of Shostakovich and Brahms fans out there. So there's your first choice, 6 o'clock in Europe or noon on the West Coast. That's about 3 hours from now. I'm doing this at about 3 in the afternoon here in Europe. But then at the same time, now here's the interesting thing, at the same time, just down the road from Helsinki in Espoo, Finland, which is practically a suburb of Helsinki, Hannu Lintu, who is going to be conducting the Tapiola Sinfonietta. And they're going to be doing an interesting program. Let me tell you a little bit about Hannu Lintu. Lintu is the music director of the Gulbenkian Orchestra, which does a lot of live streaming that we tell you about practically every week. They live stream that often. He's also the chief conductor of the Finnish National Opera. He was named this year an artistic partner of the Lahti Symphony Orchestra, another Finnish symphony orchestra, and he's the artistic director of the International Sibelius Festival starting this year. This guy is really a top guy. Now, then look at what their program is going to be. My notes keep jumping around in front of me, so I have to keep moving around to find them. Sorry about that, but that's what happens when you do things on the fly like I'm doing right now. Okay, so what are they starting out with? They're starting out with Beethoven's Die Große Fuge, Opus 133, and then the next piece they're doing, this is the one that I find intriguing, and I'll tell you why. They're doing Carl Amadeus Hartmann's Concerto Funebre, okay, and that's a violin concerto. So the interesting thing about this concerto, which is not all that long, it's only 20 minutes long, it's composed in 1939. Now it has a final chorus, which comes from a Russian song called Immortal Victims. Immortal Victims was a song which originated a generation before that, or maybe two, in the early 20th century as a song of mourning for the victims of the failed 1905 revolution in Russia. Now, the same melody is going to reappear in Shostakovich's 11th Symphony, to speak of Shostakovich again, Opus 103, which he composed in 1957. What is this melody? I don't know it. I think it's intriguing. You might want to hear it. And the violinist on that is this star Korean violinist by way of the New England Conservatory and the Berlin Hochschule für Musik, In Mo Yang. And so you might want to tune in also to enjoy In Mo Yang. And then in the second half of the program, they're doing Hindemith's Kammermusik No. 4 and Mendelssohn's Symphony No. 1. Neither of those intrigue me the way this Hartmann thing does, though. Okay, so now if you're not turned on by any of those two orchestra live streams, okay, then what you have is finally, and that's the last two pictures on the right hand side. That's the renowned Kirill Petrenko, the top guy at the Berlin Phil since 2019, very well known. But all three of these conductors are spoken of very highly. When I'm watching live streams of them, and there's a chat box, the people in those live in the chat boxes who know more about music than I do, they speak very highly not only of Petrenko but also of especially of Saraste, and he's been touring around and conducting various organs in Europe this season. Anyway, you have Kirill Petrenko conducting this. If you're a Mahler fan, there's nothing better than Mahler's Ninth. Okay, now. Personally, I'm not a Mahler's fan, but if you are, how can you miss that? And if you don't know Mahler, let me read to you what Mahler said about what this symphony is. He said, "It is the expression of an extraordinary love of the earth, for nature, the longing to live on it in peace, to enjoy it completely, to the very heart of one's being, before death comes, as it irresistibly does." Wow. I mean, I don't know. How do you not get interested in a symphony whose composer describes it that way, and a composer who is just absolutely adored by so many people? Once again, I am not one of them. If it were up to me, just my interest, what intrigues me, I've already told you. It's that intriguing Concerto Funèbre, which won't be a very happy piece, of course, by Karl Amadeus Hartmann. I wonder whom he was named after, because I want to hear that melody, and I want to find out what was this melody that appeared after the failed Russian Revolution of 1905, comes back in Hartmann's concerto in 1939, and then comes back again in Shostakovich's Symphony No. 11 in 1957. What is this tune? There's a great novel by, I'm going to keep talking just a little bit more. Why the hell not? If you don't want to listen, don't listen. This great novel by Hjalmar Söderberg called Dr. Glass, which I adapted for the stage and performed for a number of years here in France. Yeah, I know, an American adapting for the stage a Swedish novel, which I translated into French. But the French loved it. But anyway, there's a passage in the novel that we didn't put in the play where he talks about Mascagni's intermezzo to the Cavalleria Rusticana. Now, if you've ever heard it, it is just absolutely soul and heart-piercing beauty in and of itself. And Mascagni wrote the opera for a contest. It just took off and made him famous all over Europe. But Mascagni writes about how that melody traveled all over Europe and into the hearts and minds of so many different people, of a stockbroker who couldn't sleep at night because he was worried about, the value of his investments falling, and of someone who was an idiot and didn't have anything else in his mind, and also in the doctors, looking out across the courtyard from his apartment, and a flautist is playing Mascagni's intermezzo, the melody, sitting in the window of his apartment across the way, in his shirt sleeves, with his sleeves rolled up. I mean, melodies do that. They get out and they infect people. So maybe this melody, which I have never heard before, Immortal Victims, is a melody like that. But then again, if you're a Mahler lover, maybe then you come on, you got to hear Kirill Petrenko with the Berlin Phil doing Mahler. Who's going to do it better? That will cost you €9.90. So, well, maybe you don't want to spend the money. And maybe you're one of these Jussi-Pekka Zarastre fans, and you want to hear the, and you want to hear what is that? They're doing? Yeah, they're doing Shostakovich's 11th. No, not Shostakovich's 11. They're doing another piece. They're doing Shostakovich's Violin Concerto No. 1, and then the Brahms Third Symphony. That's a fine. Anyway, maybe I haven't helped you, but maybe some of this background has. And if you do tune in to the Hartmann Concerto and like it or don't like it, oh, I would love it if you would. Well, no, you can't. Leave a comment on wherever you're watching this video, because both the Berlin and the Helsinki and the Tapiola Sinfonietta, they don't live stream on YouTube. They'll be live streaming on their own pages. That's the way some people do it. Ciao for now. That's all I have to offer you. Thanks for tuning in if you did. Thanks for watching this if you tune into it later. And have a great time tonight. Look, no matter what choice you make, you can't go wrong unless you decide you don't want to enjoy any one of these 3 moments of exquisite truth and beauty in real time with other members of the audience, sharing that social event with the performers, pouring their hearts, minds, and souls into it. For me, that's sacred, and that only happens when it's live. Remember to like this video if you see it on Facebook, and remember to subscribe and or follow us if you see this on any of our other platforms: X, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and Live, and LinkedIn. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.